Welcome to
The Neapolitan
Scoop Podcast.
My name is Stef.
My name is Shay.
And my name is Rose. Thank you for tuning into the Neapolitan Scoop Podcast, where you get your weekly scoop. If you have not subscribed, I'm tired of asking you to do it. What are you waiting for? Go ahead, like, subscribe right now. Today's topic is going to be a good one. Should you be friends with your exes while currently in a relationship?
Nope. Nice question. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and just all right, so first question. Let's see. First, is it possible to be friendly with your ex? What does that even mean?
No.
I don't want to be the questioner and the answerer, but I'm gonna say no. Reason being is because I think people don't know the difference, and especially when it's your ex, they could still think that you being friendly means that you still want them, and then in return that can change their mind frame to going from, oh, we're just friends, to, oh, there may be potential to get back together. And so because you don't know that person's mind frame and really true thought process, I'm gonna say no, you should not be friendly with your exes, just for the sense of making sure you're clear about where you stand on things.
Yeah,
and there's no confusion.
It's a thin line. It's definitely a thin line. Like, friends is a lot. Like associates, I would be like, okay, maybe you can be associates. Maybe y'all can do business together, depending on how the relationship ended, depending on how long it's been. But friends, it's too intimate. Like you have no business being friends with your ex. Even like me, like I wouldn't say I'm friends with my oldest son's father. I'm going to say, okay, we're co-parenting, we're cordial, but at the level of friends, because friends means, oh, I trust you with intimate secrets. I trust you when I need advice on something. You shouldn't be getting advice from your exes, because your ex is not going to advise you to do the right thing. Obviously, why they are an ex. Like, don't do it. Don't set yourself up for failure. And if you do think that you can be friends with your exes, then you probably still want to be with that ex. So
right.
Let's be real. Come on.
I agree. I don't think that I am friendly with any of my exes. I don't even know where in the world they are at this point, because I'm the type of person that when I cut myself out of a relationship, I cut it from the root, and it's like, you never existed. I never existed. We don't know each other. I don't even know where you are. I don't know where you live. The only ex that I have any contact with, and I don't even have contact with him because my child is 17 already, is her dad. And even at that, like at this point, she has her cell phone. I don't need to talk to him. I don't need to know anything from him. If we're communicating, it's about her. Like, we're not friends. And that was something that we had to kind of, a hurdle we had to get over, because he still wanted to kiki. And I was like, look, I'm not your friend. I don't care about your life.
Yeah.
I don't think you can be friends with your exes. And I think like Steph said, if you do, then that means you still don't want to let go of that relationship.
Yep. Now, don't get me wrong. I do kiki, but I kiki with everybody. But I have to set a boundary, because sometimes people interpret my kikiing differently. And I'm like, I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm just a overly friendly person. I ain't trying to fuck.
Yeah.
I'm just
I think for me, I just I couldn't do. I mean, because if I like Rose said, the only ex that I really see myself communicating with is my kids' fathers, because you kind of have to have that conversation. Obviously, the older the kids get, there should be ways to limit that communication between you and your ex, unless throughout that 18 years y'all actually have become more cordial over the time. But to say, oh, we're friends, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. And if I'm just going to be the one to admit that if I ever am that friendly with a ex, it's because I am planning on getting back with them. I'm not even going to
okay.
So you know, and then it's like, if I'm not planning on getting back with them, I'm going to limit that communication as much as possible. And so with me giving my perspective is because of my mentality, what I have with thinking of that. Now, granted, you may have some people out there who can be friends with their exes. I don't believe it's possible for men to be friends with their exes, because I'm like, at one point you wanted to fuck this girl. At one point y'all was doing that. At one point it was all of that and then some. So it's like, you're like, oh, this is just my friend now. No, I don't think that's possible. I honestly just don't think it's possible. And then men being like, oh, well, men have, men with their perspective, they be thinking, well, I don't want my woman to be friends with her ex, because they already know a man's mentality when it comes to having a female friend. The whole little male best friend thing is already a stigma as it is. And so it's like, men knowing how they see things, they know that they don't want their woman to have a male friend. They should also know that, well, maybe I shouldn't have a female friend because I know how a man may think. Now, maybe all men don't think like that, but you have a lot of men who want to fuck their friends and their female friends. And if they ever had the opportunity to, they probably would.
I agree.
Oh no.
So do you think that?
Oh no, I've had some good friends, guy friends, that would never, like, I had.
Well, that's different, I guess. But I'm thinking like exes, I guess. But yes, I don't know.
Yes, because you have that, y'all had something going on. So it's like, okay, clearly we have feelings at one point. Those feelings could like Rose said, there's still a root there that can grow. But if you root out and we don't talk about nothing anymore, it's gone. But the fact that there is a root there that could potentially blossom, then we don't need to be watering shit. No, we don't.
I don't see, that's something I don't necessarily agree with, because I'd still, if you're my ex for a reason, and I'm the type of person that's not going to go back to my exes. Like, if we couldn't make it work out, it's not going to work out, because it's just not. Could I still talk to you? Like, if we were coworkers, maybe, but it wouldn't be something where I'd be like, oh, how was your week? And it'd be like, look, we need to get
let's go have lunch together. Like, no, why are we doing all that? We could have did that together.
Yeah, no. I really, no. I mean, I could see you and I could be cordial to you, but I'm not going to be your best friend. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. It's not happening. Like, and it's so tricky, because like us, we have children with other people. So like, for example, like the only time I really call my son's dad is if it's something involving my son that needs his opinion, or, like, I don't call him to be like, hey, this is how my day went. He may share a meme with me on Instagram and it's probably funny as hell, or I may share one with him that's petty as hell, but it's not going to, yeah, like, this reminds me of you, and it's probably not going to be an but we can be petty like that, but it's not to the sense to where we're like sending messages at midnight and we're having long conversations for hours and hours. It's just a send. Right. He may respond, he may not respond. I may respond, I may not respond. There's no connection there. I mean, there's been times that we've sat down and maybe had lunch together, but at the end of the day, it's probably all it is all surrounded behind our son. Like, okay, and keep in mind, we just started healthily co-parenting. If that's healthily, is healthily a word?
Yeah.
Healthily? Wait, what?
It can be.
We've been healthily co-parenting. So like, like right now he's 16. So we're at that age where things could go left, things could go right. Like, this is a time when we need to all come together. But a lot of times when I do have these situations, I, let my fiance know and say, hey, this is what's going on. Do you feel comfortable with this? Now if my fiance wasn't in the picture, I would like, let's just say we went to dinner. And let's just say after the dinner, I'm sitting up here messaging him at like 12 o'clock at night. We laughing, we kikiing. Okay, sis, you're probably planning on, like Shay said, I already have it on my mind that I could potentially drop the draws. But, that's me being single. So it's like, it just depends on the situation, the circumstances. But no, if you are in a relationship, you should not be communicating with your exes unless you have a child.
Yeah, I agree.
Talking about the child. Because anything else can
And it's so annoying when people try to like gaslight you, like when you don't agree with them being friends with their exes, they're like, oh, why? Are you jealous? Like it's jealousy or insecurity. When in reality, it's not any of that. It's a legit it's a legitimate concern, and it's, you know, it's something that should be brought up, you know, because why do you feel like you need to communicate with your exes if you have a significant other that, you know, you're currently in a good space with, y'all are starting a future together? Why would you risk that for an ex who you know damn well y'all didn't last for a particular reason, but you want to risk your current relationship just to sit there and have a friendship with
Right.
somebody who is part of your past?
Hmm.
And then if it's between me and her, I'm gonna let you go ahead and have your friend. Go ahead and have her. Because
Look,
she's
but
more important to you than your current girlfriend is.
how about those people that start having those like co-parentings where it's like they're both friends, like it's, you know, they're couples and both the moms and the dads, and they're like all four of them are best friends. Like that's icky to me. Like I don't know. Like I
I
couldn't
don't
be.
think best friends, but I think it's a difference between being cordial. You know what I'm saying? Because when it
It's
comes
a
to
very
raising
Caucasian
kids,
thing. It's a very
I
Caucasian
think when it
thing.
comes to raising kids, I think it makes it easier when people get along, because the hardest part for me as a co-parent is the fact that maybe, I'm going to say allegedly, the other person's just very negative and very mean and very nasty towards the other individual that's in the relationship with their baby mama or their baby daddy. They can be really nasty towards that other person. So if y'all can find a common ground to get along with, I honestly prefer that. We ain't gotta be best friends, but when it comes to like my kid's birthday, graduations, things that matter for the child, I think that me and my significant other should be able to come together in the same space as her father and his significant other and be grown-ups for that child. It ain't gotta be best friends, but at least be cool with each other where y'all not bashing each other
like
in the same space. Huh?
Not like taking family trips together.
No. I wouldn't do family trips.
But you know,
I
that
just
like I
wanna-
was saying, that's a very Caucasian thing. Like I've seen that a lot in Caucasian families where they're like, you know, both moms and dads and everybody's traveling together. They get in their little RVs or they go and travel, and it's like it's mom and dad and mom and dad, and oh, I got two mommies and two daddies and it's okay. And I'm like, how?
I mean, it's okay to have mommies and two daddies, but they shouldn't be vacationing, because those two mommies and two daddies, one of them once upon a time got together and created you. And it may be that on that vacation.
Are they more adults than we are? Are Caucasian people like more involved than we are, that they can actually get over that?
We need a Caucasian people on this podcast to answer that question.
Are they more involved where they're like, you know what, it doesn't matter. The past is the past. And now I have to move along and get along with my ex because of my child. Like, but vacationing together?
I mean, ask Scott Disick how that works, because with Scott Disick, as soon as Courtney got her new man and her new husband, baby, he was cut. He was cut from the family, and he was hurt because he was cut. But it's his fault as to why he was cut. So you can't be mad because you're no longer part of the center of the family. But I guess he was still
going everywhere. He was still going out to like their parties, and he was still vacationing with them and everything.
That's because he made a big fuss about it. But initially, I don't think Courtney really wanted him around like that.
That's great.
I think he was more so hurt because he felt like he had such a space in the family and that he was no longer being involved in it, and he felt the way about that. So he was like really putting himself into that space. But if you notice with the recordings, like they're usually, granted, yeah, he was with them on family vacations when Courtney didn't have a man. But when she had a man, when she got a husband, he got cut out of that shit. Now, all the episodes which you saw, it was never Courtney there in the same space as him. He was always talking to the mom or the sisters individually, but they would never be recording in the same space.
Right.
So now she cut that shit off.
I will say this, and I'm part Caucasian and I don't know it, but there was a part of episode in my life when my son was celebrating his 10th birthday, and we went to California to Universal Studios. And I did present the idea to his dad because I didn't want to remove him from the experience. It was his 10th birthday. It was a milestone birthday, and we weren't doing anything at home. So I was like, well, since I'm removing him from home and taking him out of town, I was like, if you and your significant other want to come out, y'all can come out. Now, it wasn't a situation where y'all can room with us. It was more, I want to come out and come with us to Universal Studios, y'all can.
Right.
So, but y'all weren't staying like in the same room or anything like that with us. That's nah. I barely stay with my sisters in the same room. So
yeah,
I'm like, nah. So in that situation, I'm like, okay, I can see I guess when you say traveling together, it's kind of like, oh, we're all staying together. We're all like, nah, it's like, okay, you go there. When we do something, you can come meet us here.
And we'll link up. That's different. Yeah.
Like that. But as far as like, if we out in the damn boondocks and we all staying together, sleeping, nah. Because sis could wake up at 2:00 in the morning and feel like she feel a certain type of way. And now, 8 months later, now we got a, you know, like, nah, we not playing.
Why that baby look like my boyfriend?
No. Why? Something ain't adding up. No, we're not
funny.
But yeah, so
Look at her face.
Rose is like,
No.
So disgusting. Like, how does that even happen?
Yeah.
That's how that happens.
I say when we're talking about stuff, because you know, like everybody has their own opinion about things, and like maybe Rose is okay with, you know, she's like, oh no, we're not having nobody coming, but maybe her wife thinks like, okay, well, everybody, you know, I think it's okay for them to come. One thing I always tell my fiance, I say, if you are out here in these streets, ask yourself, if you were in those shoes that you're about to put yourself in, would you be okay with this? And if the answer is no, you better not do it. Because I all the time, I said, let me tell you something. I'm quick to match energy. If you don't want it done to you, you better not do it, because I'm gonna fuck around and do it back to you. And then you're gonna be big mad.
You know what? That part. And it's crazy because I've always engaged in these conversations on Instagram, like you said, about when men cheat. The world thinks that the woman should always be the bigger person. Why do we have to be the bigger person when initially the man should not have put me in a position to where I have to be the bigger person than he is? Like, why is it that men, when it comes to, I'm trying to stay on topic here just to make sure I don't defer from it, but when men cheat, nobody's saying, hey, be mature. Talk to your woman, you know, about, or communicate. And if you feel like there's nothing that can be done, then leave the relationship and pursue other options. But instead, they stay, become selfish, cheat, and then they're like pleading for the relationship to remain, and that the woman got to be the bigger person and not go out there and be petty and make him feel how he made her feel. We got to be the bigger person. Why you got to be like that? Nah, I'm going to be like that. So don't think you're going to do anything wrong to me, and I ain't going to get my lick back. I'm going to get my lick back. I'm going to make you feel how I felt, and then I'm going to leave. So I'm going to still leave, but I'm going to make you feel how I felt.
This is what I told my baby daddy. You do your shit. I found out about your shit. You know what the worst thing is? I'm going to go do my shit, and you won't find out about my shit. And he never did.
Damn. He still don't know. He just found out.
I don't know.
But I just think that's crazy. Like, why do we got to be the bigger person? I want to be just as childish as he was. When he didn't give a fuck about me, I'm about to not give a fuck about you publicly. Not give a fuck about you.
And revenge is so good.
Yep. I'm gonna feel bad. Don't get it fucked up though. I'm still gonna feel like, damn, I got cheated on. Damn, I lost my relationship. At the end of the day, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna get my lick back. I'm moving on, be smiling again. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I was more like, okay, I got you. Take one down for the book. Let me go do my shit. Let me go do what I gotta do, and then come back like I'm the loyal ass wife that I am.
Somebody has said, if you've ever cheated on me and I didn't say anything about it, they was like, never trust me again. Because if I was quiet about it after I found out you cheated on me, just know. Know. So if I don't raise hell, just know I got my lick back.
I'm telling you, baby daddy and I, we had a very toxic relationship. It was
yeah. If I will leave the relationship, and then I will publicly do my dirty work, because
I did that too.
My best life. You gonna see this, but I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Like the same karma that's hitting you to come back and hit me. I'm gonna let you know, hey man, you a free man to continue doing what you were doing. But I'm gonna go out. Don't think I'm gonna be that. You know how some girls, they be like, oh, we broke up, and then they at home crying and stuff, and it's like, oh no, I'm not gonna
about to be outside.
in these streets, what they call
Look, for me, I think it still does hurt because, like, for me, it was a marriage and everything. At the point that I decided I was over, it's like, come on, you keep cheating. I keep getting you back. We keep going through this dirty ass cycle. You're not happy. I'm not happy. At one point, I was just like, you know what, this isn't gonna work. You need to move out of my house. And he did. And of course, it does hurt because you get used to being with somebody. You get used to having that person.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But like Steph said, that didn't stop me from running the streets. And then even that, I got
You're
him
gonna
back.
be taking your hurt out on the streets. That's the sad part about it.
I started talking to one of his friends because a lot of his friends were trying to talk to me while I was talking to him. So I was like, baby, I got you. You don't come up to me and tell me, do your thing and think that I'm not a saint.
Baby, don't fuck with her. She is not one of them.
I'm not a saint.
Or maybe she is one of them.
I'm not a saint, but it's like I told him, I said I enjoyed being single.
Y'all done inspired me the last podcast. You inspired me to take pictures of my pantry. This podcast, I'm like, damn, I thought I was doing something. I'm
Baby, the ultimate lick back over here. Okay, Miss Get 'em, got 'em.
Get him, got him. Yep, got him when we were together, got him afterwards, just to make the hurt a little better.
Oh Lord. Okay, let's move on. How would you feel about your current partner having contact with their ex? Probably the same way you feel in general, but let's talk about our current partners currently. What do we think?
I don't like it.
Yeah, and I think that's really what the big thing is. It's like, why keep them around? Why give your partner a reason to think that there's more going on? And I think that's the thing that nobody thinks about when they're talking about their current partners and their current partner having all these outside ex relationship friends, whatever. It's like, okay, cool. I don't mind you having friends. You can have whatever friends. But it's just like your exes in particular, those are the ones I'm really like just cautious about. And even just, I don't know, maybe new friends too, but just like your exes, just knowing that y'all had that type of history and relationship and bond at one point. And I've even come across people who, randomly an ex will text their phone and they'll be like, hey, telling them something sexual. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, I can't control how they respond or how they text my phone. Yes, the fuck you can, because you can tell them, stop texting my phone that shit. You can say, hey, I have a relationship. That's not appropriate.
Or you and stop talking to
or you can block them. But then you know what? There's always an excuse for something sometimes. And this is a hypothetical alleged conversation. It's always like, oh, well, I can't block them because of this, that, and the other. Or when I block them, the numbers, like, bro, I have an iPhone like everybody else has an iPhone. We know how iPhones operate. I know that if I block a number that is not saved in my phone, that number is not going to come through if they call. If I block you and you're saved in my phone, your call is not going to come through, and it's probably going to show as a missed call. You still may be able to leave a voicemail, but it's just like, either way, a block is a block. They should not be able to actually reach you and you be able to respond. And if they do be able to reach you and they're not blocked, you should shut that shit down. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't believe in shutting shit down. They think that if I just leave it as it is and don't say anything, the unsaid part of it is going to fix it. No, you literally have to tell people, to not do certain things. Otherwise, they're going to keep doing it.
Quit texting you. Yeah. But I was going to say, see, with the LGBTQ plus community, it's very weird because everybody knows everybody. So a lot of people are exes to each other. And so I can have a group of people like I can think about 10 people that I know off the top of my head, and they've all kind of had, in some way or another, had a relationship with each other. So it's like, ooh, like, do you really stop talking to your ex because they are your ex? Are they no longer your friends because they were your friends before they were your relationship? Like that just becomes tricky, I think, when it's like a web of people that are intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
Huh? How does that work? So do you feel like y'all should just cut off, period, because the community is so small and so close? Do y'all think y'all should just, like, of course, in the heterosexual communities is everywhere, but like the LGBTQ community is a little bit more closer. So like the chances of the chances of you dating somebody that the other person has dated are a lot
bigger, yeah. And especially like in the Hispanic community, like it's like everybody knows everybody for some way or through somebody else.
Like do y'all, is in y'all's brain when it comes to communicating with exes, do y'all just cut it off? Because I think that's the most reasonable thing based on the fact that it's so small and so intimate that it's like, just cut them off because it just sounds messy.
Ideally, for me, I think that would be the right thing to do, but a lot of people don't do that. So you'll see people hanging out with like 2 or 3 of their exes at Pride Parade or having brunch with like another 2 or 3 exes.
Yeah, that is weird. To me, that's giving like y'all be having sex together vibes. I don't know. And I could be thinking about that all wrong just because of how I'm seeing it. But it's just like the whole thing about Caucasians going on vacation with each other and stuff. That's what it's giving me. Like y'all probably be sleeping together at the end of the night because y'all
the
so
thing
cool.
is that you have to think that about the fact that most people that are in LGBTQ plus relationships know each other as friends before they actually go into a relationship. They get to know each other first. So there's that, friendship background prior to a relationship. They get into a relationship, it doesn't work out. So they're like, okay, let's go back to being friends. And it's perfectly normal for them. Like for me, most of the relationships I've been with are people that were my friends before they were my partners, because I don't like to just jump into relationships. I need to know who I'm going to be messing with. But once my relationship is done, I cut people off. It's like, okay, well, we were friends at one point. I can't go back to being your friends after having a relationship. But a lot of people do. And I don't know, it's weird to me. And that's
Steph, did you want to say something before I get off the conversation, the topic? So I was thinking about like how, because we were talking about like all the negative connotations that come with having an ex, right? So we're thinking that, because of your ex, that means, I guess it's kind of where the cautiousness comes in with it, because just because they're an ex does not automatically mean y'all broke up on bad terms either. Right. It could be something so simple as, we didn't know how to communicate together because we were just so different at that time. And maybe a year has passed, now y'all talking and texting, and you're like, and then I'm thinking like, you could be going through issues with your current partner, thinking like, this is going on, I'm not happy, I'm temporarily not happy because you're in your feelings. And now you're explaining this to your ex, and now you're thinking, well, shit wasn't that bad with them, and I feel like that's kind of where the cautiousness as a current partner comes in, that because I don't really know if you and your ex broke up on bad terms. I don't really know, because we have an argument, would you go run into them? You might go run into them for comfort and thinking about how you would wish you didn't break up with them because it wasn't that bad, right? So I'm like, exes don't always break up for bad reasons. It could be something so small, and now you could be considering getting back on the other side where the grass was green and you thought this side was greener, or vice versa, So that's why I'm true. Like, I don't think exes should be in the picture, because I don't know if y'all had a bad breakup or a little insensitive breakup, and now y'all figured that out, and now y'all feel like y'all better, and now you want to leave me for them. I don't know. But I don't like it.
I think for me, it's like, I don't know how serious your relationship was. Like were y'all dating for 2 days and then
did y'all get engaged? Like,
were y'all drunk dating? Were y'all like drunk dating, or y'all were just going through your little 20-year-old phase, and you were just drunk and dating and one night stands and you
hooking up? Or were they almost your wife type shit?
Right.
Because that definitely matters too. And then the whole being married and then getting divorced, and now you back with your ex-wife, and nah, bro, I don't even do the whole divorce man either, because you got too much history with your ex-wife for me to even think y'all done with each other. Y'all might have kids, y'all might have had all this history, and now we arguing, now you want to go run back to your ex-wife with your / baby mama. I don't think so. I need to know that relationship is 10 years past.
I agree.
Cut it. Because marriage is whole weight. Emotional weight, all that. It holds a lot of that in history for sure.
I agree.
I don't want to hear you being friends with your ex-wife.
So before my wife and I were together, she had a serious relationship. I think she was with the girl for about 10 years, maybe even more. They were together, like they were living together, never got married, but they were basically married. They were Mexican married. They were living together, bills, everything. So she had 3 kids. So of course my wife got very attached to those kids because, she basically saw them grow up. So one night we're together, we're already maybe 5 years into our relationship, and we're sleeping, and she gets a call at 3 a.m, and it's her ex. And I wake up and I hear her talking. I'm like, who the fuck is calling you at 3 a.m? Like, what's happening? She's like, it was my ex. And I was like,
Okay.
why is she calling you? Who the fuck died? I didn't know, but her son had died. So she was calling to let her know that her son had died. My wife hadn't talked to them in years. So all of a sudden I'm like, well, you haven't talked to those people in years. Why is she calling you to tell you he's dead? Like, what?
Was she drunk, and was that the person that she thought of in the moment of that crisis?
No, she was sober. She was sober.
Because that could have waited till like 10 o'clock the following morning. I get it, but that could still wait.
Ma'am.
You could have called your child's father at that time of the morning, your grandma, like your mom, somebody else. You don't have to call my wife. That's disrespectful.
You could have sent a text message. She could have.
Yes.
So many alternatives. And let me tell you, I had a similar issue, and I mean, y'all were married and everything, but I had a similar issue at the beginning of me and my fiance's relationship, where he had an ex call, similar situation. Somebody had passed away, and he said something he said something as in, oh, well, they know me, like they really, like, basically like we're family.
Yeah.
That was the vibe that he tried to give me. And I'm like I said, I'm to match energy. I said, so if somebody calls me at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's an ex, because his cousin or somebody passed away, to tell me that. I mean, because if somebody's calling at 3 o'clock in the morning and y'all are not related, y'all are exes, it's because they're looking for comfort.
Yeah.
From
definitely.
you specifically. Yeah.
Yes. Which, if I remember Monsters Ball, that's what Holly Berry was looking for when she fucked the guy after her husband passed away.
Yeah.
If you're calling me as an ex after somebody has died, it's because you're looking for sexual comfort at some point. Maybe not at the time that you're calling,
right?
But reach that, because
that's an emotional, that's an emotional tie, because emotionally that can have you fall into that person's bed emotionally.
And if you provide that emotional comfort, guess what? Now you're tied, because now they feel like
thinking it's more.
Yeah. So yeah, I know I'm petty.
Oh Lord.
So guess what happened?
You girl.
I went to the funeral with my wife, and I bought me a nice little black dress with some nice high heel shoes, and I did my full face, and I walked in there with my wife.
Because we both coming. Okay, cool. That's nice of you to let us know. Now we're both gonna go and
Yep, because she married now. She got a whole bitch with her.
I consider that petty. I consider that setting boundaries.
Yeah. Because I exist, and you're gonna know I exist, and you're gonna see me.
Now that is actually an alternative I may consider, and I have considered it as of lately, but I will say this, like, that wasn't an alternative that I would have considered back then. I'd be like, nah, you don't even talk, because I'm like, I'm not trying to go to no funeral. But I'm like, that is a great way to see if your significant other is actually about you, and if there's really, like, they've really deaded that relationship, and they're genuinely just trying to be there because they were once connected to this family. If they're still trying to, get something out of it. The fact that she actually allowed you to come, and you set your boundaries, and she set her boundaries too by saying, this is my wife. Her saying, this is my wife, we are serious, and I'm not sure if y'all were married then, but whatever it was, she set that standard, like, okay, this is me. And I'm here to pay my respect, but at the end of the day, don't think that there's anything gonna come out of this beyond this, So I can respect that. I can respect that. I did that. I do now, because my fiance, he has his own business, so it's like, I tell him, I was like, well, if somebody calls you that you used to mess with, I prefer for you not to do business with them. But if you, like, he'll tell me, oh, well, we have to meet for this. Okay, well, we both going. Yeah, let's go. We having lunch? What time?
Because if I can't go, then why I can't go?
And you gotta buy me new clothes and shoes, because
and if I can't go, then why I can't go? Because why I can't go?
Yeah.
What's so private about me not going? She already called you and woke both of us up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So at this point, I should be involved in whatever y'all got going.
That's the question right there. Why can't
Yeah, because what's the problem? Yeah. I guess in my next question, to ask another question real quick. So do you think that your significant other should respect your concern that you bring up? They should not dismiss it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you want the relationship to be dismissed, you should definitely value your significant other. Feeling how they're feeling, you should consider it.
It's like empathy, yeah, and considering how they feel and not just saying like, oh, well, you're just jealous or you're just this, that, and the other. No, I have a valid concern and I think you should really hear me out, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Like you better you better listen.
And I think if they're trying to prove a point as to why they can't, then you better bring up a good point. And it has to be something where I'm gonna be like, okay, well, that makes sense. But like,
right. Yeah. It's funny because me and my fiance were actually talking about that this morning. And we were talking about like back in the days how the man at the end of the day, the man had the final say so when it came to what was going on in the household.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, well, I think we should both have a say so. I said, at the end of the day, if you have a valid point, I will agree with you. But if I have a valid point, I don't think it should just be ignored because I'm a woman.
Right, because it matters and it counts for something, you know, and you're educated, you're smart. It's not like you're just a bimbo out here just throwing things out the side of your head. Like, no, I'm thinking about it, I'm analyzing the situation, and I'm giving you my perspective on it.
Right. And back in the day, men used to work and provide for everything.
And y'all ain't doing that these days. So consider it.
And he does all that, but I was like, I mean, even then, I'm like, I still like if you have a woman, you don't. It just gave me a woman doesn't have a brain vibes. That's what it gave me, and it's like I'm a woman. I don't know any better, so it doesn't mean that I should just agree with you. No, because you're not always gonna have it right, and Lord knows that men don't always have it right. Honestly, men are the more analytical creatures. Like we analyze things. We have that instinct where we have to be extra precautious. So I told him, I was like, I understand that like back in the days, that's what they used to do. That doesn't mean that it's right. I said back in the days, we also had slavery. Did that mean it was right?
No.
No. So I'm like, we have to evolve and we have to change. And you have to understand that your opinion matters just as much as mine. You know,
why do you think it's so hard for men for them to say, I am going to consider your opinion? Why? Is it just really the machismo that doesn't let them kind of admit that your wife can have a say and be right in certain things? Or like
it could be like she said, it could be the whole mentality that I'm a man, that I'm right. It could be the whole mentality that you're a woman, you don't know as much as me. I don't know what it is, but I think, or maybe it could be a pride thing. You don't want to admit when you're wrong and that somebody else could possibly be right about what they're saying. But instead, you would rather just go on the defensive about what they're saying than just to say, you know what, you're right. And I think that's hard for either party to admit sometimes when one is right and the other one's wrong, or vice versa. But I think it's all a part about being an adult, just admitting when you're wrong, admitting when somebody's right, taking accountability where you may have fucked up at. People don't like to take accountability too. That's the problem.
That part is so hard.
It's hard.
Hey, you was wrong. It's cool. Not gonna learn from your wrongs unless you admit to them. Like you have to realize you were wrong in order to correct your wrongs. But if you continue to make excuses for your wrong, you're never gonna change it.
Yeah.
It's my issue. That is the issue that comes with relationships. It's like people don't like to admit that they're wrong. And they continue to do the same thing over and over and over because at the end of the day, in your mind, you didn't do nothing wrong. And if you did something wrong, you have a defense for it. The same excuse that you. So child, it's a lot, but in the sense of don't talk, please. They are ex for a reason. Leave them where you left them when you decided to split the relationship.
And if you feel like you still want to talk to your exes, then feel free to. But just know, it might not work out with your current person. They might not like it. Your ass might end up being single, so where you can go play with your ex again if that's what you want to do. Yeah,
it's not well. I'm just so
Because the moment I feel like you bringing an ex into it, I'm gonna bring mine into it. Even if I don't want to bring them into it, I'm gonna bring them into it just because. Just to be, so it could be even. We gotta be even. We gotta be equal. That's the equality of the whole relationship. We gotta be equal.
I don't know about exes, but
balance. Yes.
Balance. No, I'm being petty at that point. That's me being petty. But you know.
I'm just gonna be a whole new person. I'm not even gonna fuck with the ex.
Girl, Rose gonna go get the homie.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna be like, there are plenty of fish in the sea for me to go back to an ex.
That's true. That is facts. Just go get a whole new man. Get whole new feelings. That way they be like, when women cheat, it's all about feelings. You fucking right. I'm about to cheat with my feelings, and you done cheated with your penis or whatever else brought you to that person.
Nah, it ain't about feelings. I can tell. It ain't about feelings.
It is about feelings, because you wouldn't have done it if you didn't feel a way.
I did it because I wanted to get even. That's it.
Because you felt like you needed to get even. It's still a feeling.
That's true.
It's the feeling for a get back. It's the feeling to make them feel how you felt.
It's a revengeful feeling, like, all right. Yeah, that's true.
Because if none of this shit happened, you wouldn't have went and felt like you had to go do that. So now
there's this thing in Spanish that says the first one was for the revenge, the second one was for me, and the third one was because I liked it.
Damn.
That means that 3 times your ass stayed. I don't know.
3 times a charm, girl.
That's what the saying goes. That's how it goes.
If that's the case, if I like it, I'm gonna just go ahead and go over there.
If I like, I want it. Can you give me that one right there? Thank you.
Just go ahead and go over there. If I like it that much to keep going, I'm gonna go ahead and just go over there.
Grass is green over here.
I don't think it meant it had to be with the same person though.
Yeah.
Ooh, child, Rose be adding the spice. She had the spice today. I'm like, wait, hold on. What are we talking about now? But anyway,
I'm nice when I have to be, but when you start playing games,
I can bring out all the tricks and all that.
There's a whole nother side.
I think Rose.
They be thinking you simple. They be thinking you like green, and then you have to show them.
No, I'm very honest with my partners. I'm like, don't fuck with me, because it does take some commitment for me to fuck around too. So, and I'm lazy. I don't want to do it, but
I don't want to get up and go over there and play with them. But I'm gonna do it if you make me.
Don't fuck up, because I don't want to do that.
Yeah, just behave.
Behave, bro, because we don't want to have it. Does take a lot of energy. I think even as for myself, it takes a lot of energy to do that, or to do what somebody did to you, to do it back. I don't like to play the get even person, because it do take a lot of energy.
Yeah, it does. But I think that's what men don't understand. And I've always said that men don't understand that women can play the same fucking game, the same fucking games they play, and we can play it better. Because guess what? We know how to shut up. We know how to shut up about the mess we do.
We're more strategic. We're more
strategic. I got a day of the week for you. I got a time for you. I got a different name in the phone for you. You know what I'm saying? You coming up as goddamn Netflix subscriptions.
It wouldn't even be on my phone. I don't need that phone on my phone.
Talk about why Popeyes texting you. Because I signed up for their reward subscription. So they telling me they got 15% off right now.
Sorry, we can't give them all the game, because I ain't gonna be looking for Popeyes.
Don't worry, they gonna be on Popeyes.
I'm just saying, men think that women, like, we're the weaker sex, and let me tell you, we're the smarter sex. So
we just out there give them the upper hand because they're men. We allow you.
This is what I always say. There's one thing about being in love and fully committing to somebody, but when that person fucks it up,
they fuck up.
All bets are off. At least for me, it's like all bets are off. If you're fucking up, we both gonna fuck. We're gonna play this game as long as you want me to play it.
Until you get done playing with me.
Or until I get bored and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this shit no more.
No more. Yeah, it's not fun no more.
Player 2 the game.
But
you know how in the video games they be like, player 2 has entered the game. Let the game
fight. Flawless victory. Flawless victory.
Combo.
Tell me your age without telling me your age. Combo. All right, y'all.
Boy.
Out. Okay. We want to thank you for tuning in to our podcast. Again, if you enjoyed our content, please subscribe to our channel, like, and comment. We love feedback. While you're at it, go follow on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok. Also, if you have a topic that you would like for us to discuss, or if you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, feel free to email us. Again, thank you, and see you next week for our weekly scoop serving. And
Hey.
y'all.